Yeah, I heard word around town is a poppin' off.
Yo, it's lit, man. It's the Hitman. I hope you guys are having a good day. I gotta talk some talk to you, man. Okay, so first of all, most importantly, this is the day to download basically about Goku and Piccolo, and we have a world tournament on the way. But even more important than Goku and Piccolo, what most people are gonna care about, even though he was underwhelming, don't play him like he's not still a top 20 unit in the game. LR Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is getting his EZA. He's not the offensive juggernaut he was going to be, but he is a great defensive tank. He does work. Don't play him. All right, we're going to get into him. But first things first, there's a massive change to the World Tournament. I'm assuming this is going to be permanent because most of the time when they do stuff for the World Tournament, it is permanent. Demon King Piccolo. Now, as you guys know, or maybe you don't know, where is he? LR Tao. There we go. LR Tao is the next World Tournament reward on Global, the local LR. I'm gonna go over him in detail. There's so many cards. I'm not gonna go over most of them in detail. I'm gonna skim over a couple of them because this is a gigantic. Look at how many tabs I have open. Gigantic data download. But now the Demon King Piccolo has been thrown to the side. You can now acquire the Daimo by doing the World Tournament and beating it 10 times and then 50 times. Now 50 is a bit OD. Like Hitman's not doing the worst mode in the game 50 times in one weekend. I don't know how you guys feel about the World Tournament. 10 is completely reasonable though. So eventually I'll get him rainbowed. I don't really care to have him rainbowed. I don't use him that much right now, but I do think he is still very viable. He's a very good free-to-play LR. He's just not Master Roshi or Full Power Frieza or whatever this AGL LR Trunks is about to be. You know what I'm saying? But now, besides that, I guess they just know like global players don't care as much as you think. We're going to be able to get one legendary summon ticket per day by consuming 50 stamina in order to summon on the Goku and Piccolo banner. That's dope. I don't think they'll plan on doing this often, but I wonder why they're doing this, because they're being very gratuitous. It's whenever Akatsuki's being simply gratuitous towards global, there's usually like a sucker punch coming. They always have an ace in the hole, so I'm keeping my eye on that. But this is a massive global W. They're basically giving you 5 stones a day. A lot of players, free to play or pay to play, will get at least a good banner unit they like, or possibly a summonable LR. We'll see. Now, Omega Shinron, or should I say Sin Shinron, apparently, I didn't find him in the data download, but he is in the EZA section, is getting his EZA, I guess, during this celebration. He's in the data. I don't know if he's fully ready to go, but he is in the data, so I might as well talk about what he does. I think he's worth going into detail about because he's a great defensive unit. He can get 250, 300k defense, and I'm gonna tell you why. Now, his super attack effect, leader skills are relevant. Super attack effect raises attack and defense for 1 turn. Supreme greatly lowers defense. Meh. His passive skill, however, rampant bloodlust. All enemies defense minus 50%. Irrelevant. Attack and defense 100%. And he gets an additional defense and crit chance plus 7% per GT boss category ally on the team. GT bosses is not the moves. I mean, it was Super 17, like Tech Super 17, AGL Super 17, Omega Shinron, like I guess the STR one if you're gonna reach for it. Maybe the LR Shadow Dragon Army, who isn't even on global yet. I guess LR Baby if you want. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not really, that part is kind of annoying. I'm not really gonna go for that if I don't have to. And then he crits if you get 7 or more key spheres, so that is nice. Linc set, phenomenal. I'm not going to go over it. Most of you guys know it. However, he's only on Shadow Dragons, Inhuman Deeds, and GT bosses. I'm not too big of a fan of only having 3 teams. I hate that Omega isn't on Artificial Life Forms. That's so dumb. Now, on to LR Mercenary Tao. I forgot he was even on his way to global because he went very under the radar on JP, which is weird because he's not bad. Now, leader skill, Dragon Ball Saga category 4 key, stats 130. I get it, he's free to play, so 130 is fine, and he gives 4 key for a team that's very wonky. Super attack effect, raises attack and defense for 1 turn, colossal damage, and high chance of crit. 18 key does the same thing, so immediately you can see his defense and offense is going to be on par with at least a moderate or mediocre LR. Passive skill, attack and defense 5,648 per key sphere obtained. He gets an additional 7,564 key per key sphere obtained with 3 or more key sphere obtained. So basically he's like a nuker that's going to be very wonky depending on how few or how many orbs you get him. He gets an additional 10,108 attack and defense when performing a super attack. He gets an additional 10,108 attack and defense when performing an ultra super. And like Int LR Gohan, he gives himself 1 key per key sphere obtained. So basically, you want to make this man nuke. That's it. You don't worry about all the calculations. Just make the man nuke. That's all you're worried about. He does have an active skill. He's the first World Tournament LR to have this type of active skill. Like I know Demon King Piccolo has his transformation, but that's not the same. Conditions can be activated when HP is 50% or less after he's been hit 3 or more times in battle. So that's not unreasonable, but it isn't the greatest. It massively raises attack temporarily, causes ultimate damage, and will stun the enemy for 1 turn. So in SBR, like say you get beat up in the first turn, then turn 3, you come back around, that can be very beneficial. Linc said Crane School, Supreme Warrior, Coward, Brutal Beatdown, Dodon Ray, Shattering the Limit, and Legendary Power. So you're only going to see Brutal Beatdown, Shattering the Limit, and Legendary Power. That sucks. Categories, he's on a moderate, like he's okay for categories, a middling amount. Dragon Ball Seekers, Dragon Ball Saga, Siblings Bond, I always forget about that one with Tao and Shin. Target Goku, Earthlings, and Sworn Enemies. Good enough. I mean, I don't have too much to say about it besides that he is a good LR, so I'm not going to play him like he's trash. Now this Tech Gohan, I don't want to go over him in detail, but I will say, if you're not a big fan of the World Tournament, such as myself, just please farm this Gohan. He's actually really good. He raises defense forever. He has mitigation. He has good defense. He benefits from having a Goku family ally on the team. Linc set is good enough, even though he doesn't have Prepare for Battle, and he doesn't awaken yet, so of course he doesn't have Shattering the Limit. He's on a hell of a lot of categories, as you can see. So really, he's good for long events, and he'll do his job well enough. He's more like a floater unit you shouldn't have to babysit, if anything. Now this great Saiyan Man Super Saiyan 2, I love when they do this character because he has shocking speed and Prepare for Battle. Like the physical one is like that too. I want him to easy A so badly. He was one of my favorite units back then. Like way back in the timeline of Dokkan. But this guy greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn. He gets attack. I mean, overall, just attack and defense. He does build up by doing attacks. He gives superclass 3 key and stats 30%, which is great. Y'all know what that means, man. And then he's on a whole bunch of teams, so of course that's useful on a lot of teams. He gets an additional attack and defense 3 key when there's an extreme class enemy. The lowering defense is whatever. Like I said, Linc set's phenomenal. Categories, a whole bunch of them. The Cell is also awakening. Now, if you notice, that's odd because on JP they're awakened in different tournaments. One thing, so apparently, well, not apparently, I know for a fact, Tao came out during the 40th World Tournament along with this Tech Gohan I just went over. They're coming out in a whole set all at once on global. It's as if, I guess you could say they skipped 2 World Tournaments and they just grouped all of the awakenings and all of the units together. Maybe that's because they don't care about, you know, like they're like, okay, global players just don't care for the tournament. Like, they just don't. So we're not going to force them to do it all the time, but we will up the ante of whenever we do bring it back around. I hope that's what they plan on doing. I'm perfectly fine with that. But I guess we'll have to see. Maybe they really do plan on revamping the tournament soon and they have to find a way to speed things up. Who knows? I don't want to give that hope though, because we've wanted that for what must be 4 years now. So I'm not going to give people that hope, but that's just me. This Cell is actually good too. He is kind of the inverse of the Great Saiyan Man. Attack and defense 120, 2 key, 30% to extreme class. High chance of launching an additional super when facing 2 or more enemies. That sounds good, but I don't know that I'd trust this guy in SBR, so I'd be careful. He does greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn on super attack. Linc set, most importantly, shocking speed, big bad bosses, nightmare, and shattering the limit. So he'll be good for villains. A whole bunch of, you know, the Cell teams and stuff like that. Mighty Mask, I don't see anybody ever care about this unit, so I really don't want to go over them. But they raise attack and defense greatly for 1 turn on super. buff after buff after buff. I mean, good when facing one enemy. They dodge. They guarantee dodge when HP is below half. And after that turn, they have a high chance to dodge if HP is 50% or less. And they evade enemies' attack for one turn when HP is 30% or less. Okay, yeah, I'm not tripping. Okay, Linc set. I thought it was like, so basically if you get below 30%, that 50% dodge chance is going to be calced in too. So you're really only getting one turn of guaranteed dodging instead of two. But this unit is not the greatest. So Linc set, not the best, but they do have shocking speed, shattering limit, and Super Saiyan. So and the Innocence is good on a lot of Goten and Trunks teams, so fair enough. However, what's stupid, they're only on World Tournament and Majin Buu Saga. It doesn't matter if they're Mighty Mask, they should be on Joint Forces, Super Saiyans, Hybrid Saiyans, Prodigal Warriors. You guys get what I'm saying. Very, very weird how they did this unit. Now, Jackie Chun full power. He's good, but like, let's not play like he's, you know, uber top tier free to play unit. He's just not. He does have a good support though. He gives Kamehameha 3-key attack 30%. Well, I don't know why they didn't give him defense. He only came out in April, so it's not like he's way old. That's just a weird decision by them. I guess I guess they know what Kamehameha is. His Linc set isn't great for a Kamehameha team. He is on a good amount of categories. Earthlings, I'm all for giving Earthlings, Dragon Ball Saga, and I guess World Tournament more, you know, units, viable units. So I'll take what I got. Who's up next? We have Aneen. Now, I don't see anybody to use Aneen, so I'm actually going to go over her right here. Super attack raises defense for one turn, supreme damage, and lowers attack. Passive skill, Tajiro's power. Tajiro? Tajoro? That doesn't ring a bell to me. That name does not ring a bell to me. Attack and defense 120%. She gets 2-key and an additional 60% attack and defense when HP is above 60%. Peppy Gals get 20-key and 10%. Realm of Gods get 20-key and 20. What did I say? Peppy Gals gets 20% attack and 10% defense. Realm of Gods gets the same buff, and then she recovers 6% HP at the start of turn. Good enough. I mean, I have no issues with that. Peppy Gals and Realm of Gods aren't two categories that go together though, and those are the only two she's on. So however you feel about that, which is weird because the way the Boyhood Saga works with the Dragon Ball leader skill, certain units should just be on it and they're just not. It's dumb. It's dumb. Now we're getting a new Goku from the tournament banner, like the World Tournament SSR banner. He's all right. I really don't want to go over him. He does have shocking speed instead of the normal prepare for battle for, I guess, base form Goku units. He's on World Tournament, Low Class Warriors, Pure Saiyans, Goku's Family, Turtle School, and Bond of Friendship. Now, these guys, only good on one team, and they're only great when there's a Gohan kid around. So basically, you want them with the AGL one at all times. I'm not too big on it. I'm not opposed to free-to-play units only excelling in one spot on a team, but they're overly dependent for mediocre output. I'm just not going for it. I'm really not. Whatever, I guess. Linc set isn't the greatest. I mean, they do have Kamehameha, shocking speed. Their Linc set's not trash. Okay, you know what? I was bashing on them too hard. Solid support is okay. Cold Judgment, Z Fighters, Experienced Fighters, Kamehameha, shocking speed, and shattering the limit. Honestly, this could pass for like damn near a Gohan Linc set for real, but it's not what that is. Categories: Joint Forces, Kamehameha, Battle of Wits. What is with the words? Battle of Wits and Heavenly Events. You see what I mean? And even then, they're only good on the Heavenly Events team because that's what they support, and they're so dependent. I'm not too big on them, man. Now, on to what you people came here for. Well, at least I think that's what you came here for. Super Saiyan 2 LR Gohan, he's Easyang. Funny story about this guy from when Hitman was way younger. The 2-year anniversary, for those that don't know, it was basically a waifu banner for part 2 of the celebration. Like the second banner, that's usually 2 legendary summon LRs was just this guy and a whole bunch of waifus and Hercule statues on global. You summon on the Super Saiyan 4 banners, you got tickets, you take 10 tickets, you summon on Gohan's banner in hopes of pulling Gohan because he was so far. Like when I tell you the gap between Gohan and whoever's number 2, it took so long for them to fix that gap. It was ridiculous. So when he came out, he was so OP. He had such a great Linc set. Everything was centered around him if you had a team, and no one had any. Like, you either had Gohan or you just somehow ended up logging into Dokkan every day. Like, it wasn't really, there was a massive gap. So anyway, like I said, you know, I was free to play back then. On my very last ticket, right when I gave up hope, I was like, man, whatever. It's just another morning. I'm not going to pull him. What was it, July? Another morning in July. I'm not going to pull him. Gave up hope. Okay, this is kind of, the story's kind of rugged. But your boy, okay. I walked into the bathroom. I did my swipe or whatever. Did my thing. Washed my hands. I look over. Gohan sitting on my screen. Bro, I damn near screamed at the top of my lungs, man. I ain't gonna lie. It was like 9 in the morning is what's crazy. I just woke up and I was like, let me just do this last summon. The kid had Gohan, and to this day, I will forever love Gohan for that. I don't care how mid he is. Now, screw my story time. Let's get into what Gohan does. Insight, get 4 keys, stats 120%, which is good. I mean, it's fine. I don't have an issue with that leader skill type at all. It's just weird with LR Bardock because they only gave that to super class, and then extreme class suffers more. That's so stupid. I don't know why they didn't just say physical type 4 key 120. That was really weird. Now, super attacks on 18 key raises attack, or excuse me, 12 key raises defense for 1 turn. Mega Colossal to the enemy. Notice he does Mega Colossal on his 12 key. Greatly raises attack on his 18 key for 1 turn, raises defense for 1 turn, and of course Mega Colossal. Passive skill, Father's Encouragement, Easy Aid. Defense 58%, he gets an additional 58% defense when supering. He gets 18 key for every key sphere obtained, which is exactly the same as his old buff. That is so weird, but it is what it is. And then he gets 1 key whenever key is raised with key spheres. What was the single most OP mechanic in the game at the time for any LR, unless you're considering like type effective, which didn't even have on an LR yet. I guess it was only STR Gogeta at the time that had that mechanic. Gohan had the most OP mechanic by far in the game. Linc set still phenomenal. Teams, he can fit anywhere, but it's sort of like you want to get him orbs. If he can't get 5, 6, 7, 8 orbs, he's not gonna impress you. He's really not. It's just his defense will hold up. So with that being said, a lot of the teams he's on, you kind of want him to be on rotation. If anything, you want to have him with an orb changer or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not that he has nowhere to be used. It's that where do you want to cater to him and where do you think he'll be most useful? And a lot of that requires catering to him. So it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, finally, and possibly most importantly, we are getting the part 2 banner in about 8 days. I'm recording this on the 20th. We're getting it, I'm pretty sure Air Dokkan, even though he's in a different time zone than me, said the 28th. So 8 days from now. Goku and Piccolo, they have a costume mechanic. Saviors category, 4 key, HP attack and defense 130%. Or int type 4 key 100%. Super attack effect, Dragon Tiger Whirlwind Dance. That's such an odd name, and I kind of like it. It sounds fire. Raises attack and defense, colossal, and lowers defense on their 12 key. On their 18 key, it does the same thing, except it lowers attack and defense. Passive skill, attack 120, attack and defense 120% when performing a super attack. They have a high chance of launching up to 2 additional attacks. They get an additional key +1 up to 6 and an additional attack and defense 10% up to 59% with each attack performed. They get an additional, they launch an additional super attack every time the character has attacked 6 or more times when HP is 59% or less, which is one of the more unique like desperation mechanics in the game. Very peculiar mechanic. Now they also have their active skill, can be activated after they've attacked 6 or more times if HP is 59% or more once only. The active skill, they get 6 key. Attack and defense 59% for 1 turn. So they're good. I mean, they're good, but they're terrible turn 1. They want to build up desperately. But once you get the ball rolling, they are a phenomenal unit. Link's at Infighter, Shocking Speed, Tough as Nails, Experienced Fighters, Solid Support, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power. Categories: Full Power, Joint Forces, Movie Heroes, and Saviors. Not the best set of categories, but I mean, it's Goku and Piccolo. Like, what can you do? Yeah, you know what I mean? I feel bad for them. Jeez. But I'll leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed, were informed, or entertained. Consider liking and subscribing for more of Hitman's content. Hope I made your day better. Hitman is out.